Okay, so before this video starts, I just want to say I am really nervous. This is something that is so vulnerable, so scary. It's one of the biggest changes I've ever done, and I think it's something which can really internally affect me because it's such a drastic external change. So yeah, I guess I'm just here to explain why I'm shaving my hair whilst I show you me shaving my hair. First reason is because I've been doing this for charity. I've been doing it for UK charity. I've had a fundraiser on my Facebook for 2 weeks now. Watching this on the news, I can't bear to watch it, let alone begin to imagine people living through this. Ultimately, I just want to do my part to try help as best as I can. That is one of the many reasons. A lot of it is to do with self-discovery. I think it began on that path and I thought I can maximise this to help other people. So I began the fundraiser. It makes me a bit emotional to think that like I have made a tiny bit of change. I'm just really proud of myself for being able to do that. I feel like this is a life experience in itself, not only just by shaving the hair but helping others. I think if I'm reflecting back on my life, this is something I will forever be proud of, no matter how it makes me feel afterwards, because I know that I've done this for such a great cause. I will always be proud of this decision. Now on to more of the inwards reasons as opposed to outwardly helping others. This is kind of a self-discovery thing. I have definitely lost a sense of self. I feel like I haven't really been myself since college. Like, I don't even know who I am. I feel like back then I was more sure of myself and now I'm not, and I don't know whether that's through experiences with certain people or whether I've slowly lost myself, and because it was nothing that was detrimental all at once to confidence and insecurities that I clocked onto it. I feel like because it was slowly like almost like drip feeding away, that I've kind of got to the point where I'm like, well, who am I? Like, what is my style? Who is Daisy Stone? Work out who I am, what I want. And I feel like the best way to do that is internally, and that's just starting with a drastic change externally. So I feel like by stripping myself of something I have relied on for validation at times, I'm having to get that validation from myself, from my soul, as opposed to my ego. And I think this is just a good way to start living soulfully. With all the kind of social standards and the beauty standards these days, it's so easy to get caught up in all of that and lose myself. I feel like it will put me in a nice mindful state of self-reflection as opposed to outward representation to others. And I think with this new chapter, I kind of want a nice defining thick line between that was me to who I actually am now and what I want from life. This is just a drastic state of finding myself, my true self, and what I want out of life. I just feel like I've gone with the very easy option of just going with the flow, high school, college, university, and it's like, well, what do I want from life? I'm not scaling that up in terms of what is expected of me to want from life. I'm scaling that up as what do I actually want from life? What experiences do I want? This in itself is an experience that I have wanted since I was 17. I have wanted to shave my hair. It's always been a no, don't do that. And I mean, people are still saying it to me now this time round, and it was a shame because before I wanted to do it, I wanted this experience. It ended up being pushed aside because I listened to other people, and now I'm coming to the realization that if I want experiences in life, I need to put myself out of my comfort zone. I can't just live comfortably and cruise, because then I won't do what I want, because I will be fitting other people's expectations. And so ultimately, when I'm older, I want to look back on a life in which I've lived that I've actually truly wanted. Because if I don't shave my hair, actually that's not the life I want, because I've been too scared. I've been living in fear. I've been fearful of the life I wanted. So even if it was a split second, I want to shave my hair, well then I should do it, because that's an experience I want. I've been so fearful of the consequences in terms of validation that I haven't. But then when I'm in my 60s, 70s, 80s, I'll look back and think, why did I never do that? In my 20s was the time for me. So I think it's important that we listen to ourselves and what we truly desire. We shouldn't be fearful of the consequences in that respect, because soon they'll add up and you realise that you've lived the life that other people wanted for you and not what you wanted. I think that's also why I'm doing it. I'm owning my shit. And I will explain this more in a bit. I have already filmed one of the reasons, which got a bit emotional because it was something quite deep rooted. I'll get to that nearer the end. Shouldn't place so much value on commodities or things in your life, because the satisfaction and value should come from within. I feel like this experience will also push for me to gain some confidence. I mean, I kind of am stripping myself of something I've always known, and although that could very well decrease my confidence, I'm forcing myself out of a comfort zone and I'm striving to keep growing and just gaining. I feel like as time goes on, I definitely am losing my confidence. I think that's because of some experiences I've gone through, and not nice things, and at the time you don't think they're affecting you as much. Friendship betrayals or relationship betrayals. In terms of being cheated on, that's something which can really degrade your self-worth and your confidence, and so I'm kind of owning that shit. Like, I want to grow, I want to flourish, I want to own my reality, and although some people have been crappy, that doesn't have to make me remain in a state of feeling crappy. I can move on. I can get that sense of self back in whatever way possible, and I feel like this is a good stream for me to do so. I want to be brave. I have already said I don't want to be fearful of a life I want. I don't want to live vicariously through other people and watching people do things and think I want to do that, but what? We all have the power to follow what we desire in life. And hey, maybe you've clicked on this video because you're thinking of shaving your hair. I mean, me and you right now are in the same position. I haven't done it yet, and I am so scared, and you're probably so scared. But why? Why should we just not do things because of fear? Fear of what others may think, what others might say. You're living through an external representation of yourself. Why? It's like people living through the lens of Instagram or through the lens of any sort of social media. Like, you're doing things to fulfill a representation of yourself for other people. Nobody cares about you as much as you care about yourself. Nobody cares what you do as much as you care. So why would you neglect something you desire for other people when they actually don't care? They don't care about you as much as you think. For sure, people will have things to say about me having no hair, but is it really valid? Are their opinions valid? No, because it's not them. And if I'm living through an expectation or living through an external representation of myself and how I want to be portrayed, I'm gonna find that I do live a life I don't want, and that I will be a carbon copy of other people because I'm allowing myself to be put into like a cookie cutter outline and be like, this is expected of you, you should do this. Well, then I will end up living the life which everybody else has. And so I need to keep shaking things up. I need to keep rattling my system and trying to push myself out of comfort zones, gain that confidence. It's a scary adventure, but I mean, big things are scary in life. Maybe if I don't do this, I won't keep developing confidence, and then I might find that I don't perhaps fulfill a traveling experience I want, or a relationship experience I want, or a friendship experience I want. I will not chase things, and so things will become very stagnant and still, and life will become very dull and boring very quick. Okay, so for the next segment of the video, it's going to be a little bit quieter. Basically, I was getting a bit upset about this point. It's quite emotional, it means quite a lot to me. Yeah, I still wanted to include it. I'm quite scared to include that in it. As you listen, you can probably understand why. Living in the same town that they most likely still do, it's still very anxiety inducing when I go out. But the bottom line is be nice to other people. Just be kind. Don't be a sheep, be the shepherd. I've always been someone who doesn't conform. I've always been kind of the odd one out, and in school I found that I had a really hard time because of the fact that I wouldn't allow anyone to box me in. It was the hardest 2 years of my life. I got so badly bullied about making YouTube videos about, and this is school for you, about literally the food I put in my body because I was vegan. I had an Instagram account which was all like white themed, Tumblr-esque type, you can imagine. I didn't match people's expectations of, well, I should be like everyone else. These are experiences that still massively affect me to this day. It was the hardest point that I've ever been at in my entire life. And I'm 21 years old, so yeah, it was a fucking tricky time. My parents were threatening to take me to see a doctor because of the fact I wouldn't eat, because of the sheer anxiety I went through every single day. It was just really hard. I feel so bad. I feel so bad for that little girl who had to go through that shit. And it's left me with some really strong feelings and issues, you could say, leading into now my adult life. I was so alone, and I felt like I had no one And every day I would feel sick walking up to my school building, just thinking, oh, what's gonna happen today? So I've never allowed anyone to box me in or match their expectation. I tried to deal with this. It was 2 years. I tried ignoring it. It didn't work. I tried going to some teachers, the authoritative figures, and it didn't work. I tried to shout back. I tried every route possible, and it's only something you realise when you're older. It was because I was brave and I was strong enough to be different. I didn't follow the crowd. Because of that resilience, I am so proud of myself and how I am today, and I think I owe it to myself to remain doing that, to still be brave and to still be strong and to still do things that I want to do. I wanted to shave my hair when I was 17 and everyone said no, and I got boxed in, and now I'm 21 years old. I've hit the realisation that I don't want to look back on my life and have lived the life that I didn't want because I was scared to do something different. What, in high school, if I listened to what people said, I would have carried on eating meat and I wouldn't have done these videos. I would have been boxed in. So that is one of the reasons why I am shaving my hair. No matter what, I will always be 100% my true authentic self, and I will do what I want to do, not because other people are doing it, but because I'm doing it. I've never been a sheep. I've always been a shepherd, as my dad said in school. I did do different, and I wouldn't want it any other way, because ultimately the bottom line is, for anyone, you tend to get picked on because of this difference. You're an easy target, when actually the bottom line is jealousy. They wish they had your confidence, and they wish they carried themselves like you do. And these are things I wish I could tell myself. People said, my parents said it's jealousy, but my self-worth was so low because of them that I could never see that. I am not being that 15-year-old girl with that sheer sickening feeling of anxiety going to school. I am living my life unapologetically the way I want to live it. A massive well done to my younger self for getting through that, for still being here today, for still being able to make these decisions. And if any of you are going through this sort of situation, please just hold in there. You may feel worthless, you may feel like you're not seen or heard, but you are. Hold in there, and one day you will look back and be so proud of yourself. I don't think you can have like character development and growth without going through it, and you'd be surprised. I think almost all my friends have been bullied. They were outsiders, and the best ones are. That's why they're my friends. I'm covering the camera. Hello, you want to see?
Yeah? Oh my god, Zoe, she did it! Good job! I mean, actually, that pretty suits you.
It does suit her, it looks really good.
I guess I'll FaceTime Tate now then. I think that's fair enough. You ready for the big reveal?
3, 2, 1.
She looks horrible.
Oh, it looks good.
It looks really good.
See, that's all I get from the boy. Oh, it looks good. It looks really bad. I'm joking, mate. Look at me.
I literally just woke up from a nap. Yeah, it actually looks quite good. Like, I thought you looked like an egg.
An egg? You thought I was gonna look like an egg? Wait, do I look like an egg now?
No, I think you look quite good. I think you suit it, actually. But don't tell Mum I said that.
Well, no, because I rang Mum and she was like, oh, actually, it looks really good. It really suits you, didn't she?
Yeah.
Like, I think Mum was shocked.